Welcome to the Deep Dive. We know you're trying to stay ahead, cut through all the noise, and, well, that's what we're here for. Today, we're looking at a really tough case from rural Wisconsin. It's about Theodore Egge III.
Yeah, a 35-year-old man.
He went missing back in January 2023 and was tragically found deceased months later. We want to analyze the precise moments where something seemingly small, a logistical issue, just spiraled.
And this deep dive, it's important because the sources we have, they lay out a timeline that's, well, it's unnervingly clear.
Right.
We're tracing the steps from just a simple car problem, running out of gas, to a full-blown desperate search. And the goal is to really understand how factors like being totally unfamiliar with the area.
Athelstane, right. Treacherous place to be lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That, plus some critical personal context, how those things combined turned a minor problem into, well, a tragedy.
Okay, let's set the scene for you. Theodore William Egge III, 35 years old, about 5'11", 190 pounds.
Pretty standard build.
At the time, he was living with 4 roommates. This was in Crivets, Wisconsin, on a place called Boat Landing 7 Road.
Okay.
And Crivets, like you said, it's the kind of place where knowing the area really matters. He was last confirmed seen January 13th, 2023, but in the next town over, Athelstane.
Gotcha. Crivets is home base. Athelstane is where things go wrong.
So what was happening just before he disappeared? Let's rewind to the night before January 12th. Let's build that timeline.
Okay.
So the sources give us a really specific starting point. Around 10:45 p.m., Thursday, January 12th.
Okay.
Edge is caught on surveillance video. He's at a Quick Trip convenience store back in Crivets.
And what's he doing?
Getting gas. And importantly, he's driving his roommate's vehicle, a blue 2007 Jeep Liberty. Okay, that detail. And it's interesting. It immediately makes me wonder, right?
Yeah.
If he's driving the Jeep, getting gas late on the 12th, why is the main problem the very next morning that the same Jeep runs out of gas? That's exactly the kind of inconsistency we need to look at. If he filled up, or at least partially filled up, at 10:45 p.m., then breaking down around 10:30 the next morning, like the report says, it suggests something else was going on. Like what?
Well, maybe a serious mechanical issue. Something that drained the fuel fast or just stalled the Jeep. Or maybe he'd been driving around a lot more than planned, possibly already lost, running low, despite getting some gas the night before.
So the disorientation might have started even earlier than that morning breakdown.
It's possible. It really suggests he might have been in some difficulty even before running out of fuel.
Okay, so fast forward to the morning of January 13th.
Yeah.
This is where things really escalate, right? It all centers around that breakdown in Athelstane. Yeah, the crisis point is confirmed around 10:30 a.m. The Jeep Liberty stalls out. But then there's this really crucial interaction. Help arrives.
Okay.
Yep.
A man actually stops, helps Edge out, gives him half a gallon of gas. Oh, wow. Okay, so enough to maybe get to a station. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the guy even gives him clear directions. Follow me. There's a gas station nearby. Let's fill it up properly. Solve the problem.
Yep.
And let me guess, based on how the story goes.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He didn't. The sources say he just didn't follow him, refused the help that could have ended the whole thing right there.
That refusal, I mean, that feels huge. What does that signal about maybe his state of mind then?
It really signals that his judgment was likely impaired. And this is where we kind of have to bring in that family context the sources mention later.
Okay, yeah. What do they say?
The family reported that Theodore suffered from a mental illness. And this is key. He wasn't taking his medication at the time he disappeared.
Ah, okay.
So if someone's in a state of, confusion or maybe distress, even paranoia,
Yeah.
which can happen with untreated mental illness,
Right.
the logical choice, follow the helper, get gas, fix the problem that might get overridden by fear or just an inability to process things clearly. So that one small decision, not following the man, is probably linked directly to that lack of medication in his mental state.
It seems very likely. A small choice with, unfortunately, huge consequences.
Okay, so he's alone again. Car's still out of gas, basically. And he decides to walk instead of following the help offered. Then we jump ahead, about an hour and a half, to the last time anyone verified saw him.
That's right.
Around noon, 12:00 p.m., Egge is seen walking. He's on Benson Lake Road in Athelstane.
Okay.
And he actually asks a resident there for directions. Specifically asks how to get to Boat Landing 7 Road.
Back towards his cabin in Crivets.
Exactly. So he's clearly trying to navigate his way back home, but now he's on foot in January.
Yeah.
In unfamiliar territory, trying to find this specific kind of remote spot.
And that's the last confirmed sighting. The situation then shifts pretty quickly to a missing person case, right?
It does. The roommate files the report the next day, January 14th. That's after finding the blue Jeep Liberty just abandoned.
Where?
On Benson Lake Road in Athelstane, the same road where he was last seen walking. Okay. And what about inside the Jeep? Did they find anything?
Yes. And what was found, or rather what was left behind, just makes his situation seem so much worse.
What was it?
The roommate's cell phone. The phone Theodore had been using.
Wait. He was using a borrowed phone, and he left it in the car when he started walking.
Yes. Left it behind.
That just seems catastrophic. Why would he do that? Leave his only lifeline.
Well, again, we probably have to circle back to that context of potential mental illness, maybe extreme disorientation or panic.
Right.
It's not a rational choice from our perspective. But for someone in crisis, maybe they forget it. Maybe in a delusional state, they see it as, I don't know, a tracking device or just not important.
Or just not thinking clearly at all.
Exactly. But whatever the reason why, the result is what we have to call, I think, the double crisis.
Okay, explain that. Let's break down that double crisis for the listener, because this seems like where the environment and the lack of tech just collide.
Totally. Okay. Crisis point 1, no phone. He didn't have his own. And now the borrowed one is gone. So 0 communication. No 911, no GPS, nothing. 0. Crisis point 2. The sources specifically note he was not familiar with the Athelstane area.
Yeah.
And Athelstane in January? That's not like getting lost in a city.
Not at all. We're talking remote, heavily wooded areas, probably snow-covered, houses are far apart, not much infrastructure.
Losing your phone or GPS there means you are truly, truly alone in potentially dangerous winter conditions.
Mm-hmm. And that January cold itself is an immediate threat, right? It just makes the disorientation worse, plus the lack of medication.
It's a terrible combination.
Absolutely. We're talking Marinette County in January. Temperatures often well below freezing, likely significant snow on the ground, maybe limited visibility once you're off a main road.
Did they start searching quickly? Yeah. A search was launched pretty fast, January 16th. Involved authorities, volunteers, canine units, firefighters.
A big effort.
A big effort, but think about searching that terrain in winter. It's incredibly difficult. And those initial efforts, they didn't find any sign of him.
So the search goes on. Into February, I see here they got some more information from witnesses.
Right. On February 6th, authorities gave an update. They'd pieced together more witness accounts.
Yeah.
They believed he was last seen walking north, specifically on a snowmobile trail, crossing a road called Bennett Road and heading toward Benson Lake Road.
So he was using trails, maybe trying to make his way, still heading generally towards where he was last seen, asking for directions home.
Seems like it. Still trying to get back to Boat Landing 7 Road, but now relying purely on, I guess, memory or maybe those earlier directions he got. No map, no phone.
This long search.
Yeah.
It eventually leads to a really tragic discovery months later.
Yes. The waiting finally ended on April 22nd, 2023. Police got a call about a deceased person found in a wooded area.
Still in Athelstane.
Still in the town of Athelstane, yes. Marinette County. Authorities responded, located the body.
And it was him.
It was identified as Theodore Egge.
And the investigation. What's the status now?
Well, the Marinette County Sheriff's Office and the medical examiner are still investigating the circumstances around his death. But authorities have said at this time they don't suspect foul play.
Just a terribly sad outcome from getting lost.
If we kind of step back and look at the bigger picture here, this case is just such a stark lesson in vulnerability.
How so?
You see how quickly a simple mistake running out of gas got amplified. You add in a significant mental health challenge that clearly impaired his judgment.
Right, leading to that decision not to follow the helper.
Exactly. Then you throw in the complete failure of communication tech when that borrowed phone gets left behind. And then you place that person in that state into a hostile, unfamiliar environment like Wisconsin was in January. It's that combination. It just created a situation where finding his way became a fight for survival.
So, for you listening, what does this all really mean? The key takeaways seem to be in that clear sequence, that escalation. First, just the weirdness of running out of gas right after getting some, suggesting maybe trouble started earlier.
Right. Second, that absolutely critical moment around 10:30 a.m. Refusing simple, reliable help, a decision likely shaped by his personal situation, the mental health aspect, not having medication. Yeah, that choice point is huge. And finally, the devastating impact of what you called the double crisis. Lost, No phone, no connection, no medication, and exposed to the elements in that rough winter terrain. It really shows how thin the margin for error is when our own judgment, our internal compass, is compromised. And it really does raise an important question, I think, for all of us. We
Yeah.
rely so much on our digital safety nets now, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Phone battery dies, GPS glitches, panic sets, and even in the city sometimes.
Exactly. So Teddy Egg's story forces us to think about, preparation,
Yeah.
especially around mental health support, how crucial that is in stopping a minor issue from becoming fatal.
And it makes you consider what happens when those things we rely on every day, the charged phone, the GPS, what happens when they fail? And we have to fall back on just our own resilience, mental and physical, especially somewhere unfamiliar and potentially dangerous. It really makes you think about how prepared we actually are if those everyday supports suddenly vanished.
It does. How resilient is our routine against that kind of unexpected failure?
A sobering thought. If you happen to have any further information regarding the case of Theodore Egge III, the investigating agency is the Marinette County Sheriff's Office. Their number is 715-732-7600.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thank you for diving deep with us today.